Welcome to today class of nonlinear vibration. Last 3 classes we have studied about the nonlinear free vibration of single and multi degree of freedom systems. So, today class we are going to study or start with this force vibration of single degree of freedom systems. So, in which we will study about single degree of freedom nonlinear system with cubic nonlinearity. Here we will discuss about the primary resonance. Then we will study about this cubic nonlinearity with non-resonant hard excitation. So, in the first case we will take soft excitation, and in the third class we are going to study about the single degree of freedom system nonlinear systems with cubic and quadratic nonlinearities. Very briefly we will discuss about different resonance phenomena occur in this type of system, and also briefly we will study about this multi degree of freedom systems. So, from these you will let to know about how we can proceed to solve these nonlinear equations in case when forced response applied to a system or force it is subjected to forced vibration. So, unlike in case of free vibration, in the presence of damping or in case of free vibration, in the presence of damping the response decreases and finally it may die out. But in case of force vibration in linear systems we have seen that when the forcing frequency equal to the natural frequency we have resonance condition, but in this case in this nonlinear systems we will see when the forcing frequency are near to the natural frequency or if it is away from the natural frequency, also we have several conditions for which we will get the resonance. So, we will study those different type of resonance conditions in this nonlinear vibration in this case. Also in case of linear systems we know, so when more than one forcing frequency applied to a system, for example, in this case in case of spring mass damper system. So, spring. So, let us take this spring, this is damper and this is the mass, this is m, and in this case let us apply force F1 sin omega 1 t plus F2 sin omega 2 t. So, in this case we know the equation motion can be written mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to F1 sin omega 1 t plus F2 sin omega 2 t. So, in this linear case, in this linear equation motion, so we know the response x can be due to this forcing F1 sin omega 1 t plus due to F2 sin omega 2 t. So, we can use the superposition rule. So, we can use superposition rule to find the response of the systems, but we know in case of the nonlinear systems the superposition rule will not hold good. So, we have to study the vibration of the systems considering different resonance conditions. So, unlike in case of free vibration where we have found the response total response of the systems by superposing the response due to different forcing in case of force vibration. So, we have to analyze the systems in a different manner. So, we have to consider the resonance conditions, different resonance conditions in this case, and we have to find the system response. So, when two different forcing act on a system, so we can add them to, sometimes we may write in this way, let a force k 1 cos omega 1 t plus theta 2 or plus theta 1 plus k 2 cos omega 2 t plus theta 2 acts on a system. So, we can add these two force. So, these two we can add and we can write this F equal to k t. So, cos omega 1 t plus omega 2 t, or we can write this cos omega 1 t plus phi t. This way we can write, where this previously we have seen this k 1 and k 2 are constant, but now by adding this thing we can write this is a function of time and this phi also is a function of time. So, we have seen this phi, that is phase, this phase also is a function of time and this coefficient is also a function of time. So, where this k square we can write, by combining this thing we can write this k square equal to k 1 plus k 2. So, k 1 plus k 2 cos beta square plus k 2 square sin square beta. So, this is equal to k 1 square plus k 2 square plus 2 k 1 k 2 cos beta. So, where beta equal to, one can write this beta equal to omega 2 minus omega 1 t plus theta 2 minus theta 1. So, one can add these two force, but while adding one can see this coefficient no longer become constant and we have a time varying coefficient in this case. So, we can for multi frequency excitation. So, when we have multi frequency excitation, so we can add them to make a single frequency, but in this case the coefficients and the phase will be a function of time. So, we can analyze this type of situations also, or in case of multi frequency excitation in this case. So, today class mainly will focus on these cubic nonlinear systems and we will take simple Duffing equation with cubic nonlinearity and subjected to soft excitation. Soft excitation means, so let me write the equation motion for the spring mass system with taking a cubic nonlinearity. So, this is the spring mass damper system and it is subjected to a force F sin omega t or F sin or omega t, or let me write this omega excitation frequency this way. So, this equation when I am writing, so this is the inertia force, then the spring force I will keep it nonlinear, that is k x, the linear spring force plus let me write L alpha x cube. So, this is cubic nonlinearity plus I can add this damping C x dot equal to F sin omega t. So, in this case we can always take the scaling parameter and the bookkeeping parameter in such way that the coefficient of the response, that is x, for the nonlinear term and for this damping term will be of one order lower than that of the linear system. Similarly, this forcing term also we can have some situation in which this forcing also will be one order lower than that of the excitation term, the coefficient of the forcing. That means, this amplitude of the forcing we can take in such way that, or this amplitude of forcing will be very less. Then we can write, for example, in this case taking some numerical value, I can write this equation x double dot plus let me write x plus this is equal to 0.1 x cube, 0.1 x cube, and let me write this is equal to also 0.01 x dot. So, if I will write this f equal to 0.1 sin omega t, then I can write this equation by using this bookkeeping parameter in this way, that is x double dot plus x plus epsilon x cube. So, here the parameter alpha 1 will be equal to 1. So, epsilon, let me take epsilon equal to 0.1. So, if I am taking epsilon equal to 0.1, so this alpha 1 or the coefficient of x cube that is epsilon alpha equal to 0.1, but this alpha 1 equal to 1, which is same as that of the coefficient of x. So, epsilon alpha 1 x cube plus, so this term epsilon 0.01. So, as it is 0.01, so one can put this is of the order of epsilon square x, epsilon square mu x dot. So, here mu will be equal to 1, which is same as that of the coefficient of the linear term. Then, so this will be equal to 0.1. So, this 0.1 I can again write epsilon into f sin omega t. So, here f equal to 1. So, I can have this f equal to 1. So, epsilon equal to 0.1, which will give rise to total 0.1. So, in this way we can use the scaling parameter and bookkeeping parameter. Here only I have used the bookkeeping parameter epsilon to write this equation and make them of the same order. So, if we have some higher nonlinear terms, for example, let us take this equation. So, let it is x double dot plus, let us write x plus, let we have a nonlinear term, that is alpha x cube. So, this is equal to f sin omega t. So, now, so let this, so if I will take this x equal to r y, so this equation will become, so r y double dot plus r y plus alpha, so r cube y cube. So, this is equal to f sin omega t. So, this way I can write this y double dot plus y plus alpha r square y cube equal to f sin omega t. So, now, so to make this cubic nonlinear term weak, so we can put this thing, that means this alpha r square. So, alpha r square, coefficient of alpha r square I will put equal to 1. So, for a given value of alpha, so let this alpha equal to 5. So, if we are taking this alpha equal to 5 or 10, if you take this alpha equal to 10, in this case in the first equation, if I take this alpha equal to 10, then this coefficient is very much higher than the coefficient of the linear term 1. So, we cannot tell this weak nonlinearity. So, in this case the nonlinearity is strong. So, to make it weak, so I can put now, so this alpha equal to 10, so r square, so this is equal to 1. So, I can put this r square equal to 1 by 10. So, or r I can find equal to 1 by 10 root over. So, this way one can find by using a scaling parameter. So, one can reduce this nonlinear term and make it a weak nonlinear. So, but this external excitation term, if the coefficient of the external excitation term is very small or 1 order less than or 1 or more order less than the linear term, that is the coefficient of this linear term, then we can tell this to be weak nonlinear or weak forcing. So, we will take this weak forcing if the coefficient, that is f, is very less than the coefficient of x. So, in case of hard excitation, so this term will no longer be small or it will be very large in comparison to the linear term, coefficient of the linear term, that is coefficient of x. So, today class we are going to study when this term is very small. So, when this term is very small, so we can use, let us write the equation motion. So, this is the equation motion, Duffing equation motion we have written, and today class we are interested to study only the primary resonance case. Already we have studied the free vibration system of this system by putting this equal to 0. So, in case of force vibration, let us take the situation, because in case of linear systems we know, so when this omega nearly equal to omega, so let me put omega 0. So, omega equal to omega 0. So, we will have resonance. So, in nonlinear case also we will have similar situation. So, if omega equal to omega 0, we will have this primary resonance. To take into account the nearness, what will happen to the nearer to the frequency, nearer to the natural frequency, we are taking a detuning parameter sigma. So, we will study in the neighborhood of this omega 0, that is near the natural frequency. That means, if the excitation frequency is near to the natural frequency, we are going to study the system behavior. So, that means, we have taken this omega, capital Omega equal to omega 0 plus epsilon sigma. Here sigma is the detuning parameter. So, one can study this equation by directly solving this equation by using some numerical techniques like Runge-Kutta method, or one can study the system by using some perturbation method. So, as we are considering weak nonlinear system, let us take first u equal to u 0 plus epsilon u 1 t 0 t 1. So, here f t we have taken this forcing function, we have taken as it is nonlinear, it is equal to epsilon f cos omega 0 t plus epsilon sigma t, and we are taking, as we are considering method of multiple scale for our analysis purpose. So, this t n, that is time scale, is taken to be t n equal to epsilon to the power n t, where epsilon is the bookkeeping parameter and t is the original time. So, we have different time scales like t 0, t 1, t 2 and higher order terms. So, now taking these terms, so we can write this u equal to, or u equal to u 0 plus epsilon u 1, f t equal to epsilon f cos omega 0 t plus epsilon sigma t, that is equal to epsilon f cos omega 0 t 0 plus sigma t 1. So, as epsilon t equal to small t equal to capital T 0 and epsilon T 0 or epsilon t equal to T 1. So, we can write this forcing term equal to epsilon f cos omega 0 T 0 plus sigma T 1. Now, substituting this equation in this original equation and substituting d by dt equal to d 0 plus epsilon T 1 and the higher order derivatives also can be written in terms of T 0 and T 1. So, writing those terms and putting this thing in this original equation and separating of the order of epsilon. So, one can get this equation. So, this is epsilon to the power 0. So, this equation becomes d 0 square u 0 plus omega 0 square u 0 equal to 0, and the second equation becomes epsilon to the power 1. So, d 0 square u 1 plus omega 0 square u 1 equal to minus 2 omega 1 d 0 d 1 minus 2. So, minus 2 omega 0 d 0 d 1 u 0 minus 2 mu d 0 u 0 minus alpha u cube plus f cos omega 0 t 0 plus sigma t 1. And then, so for this equation d 0 square u 0 plus omega 0 square u 0 equal to 0. So, the solution becomes a. So, the constant should not be a function of t 0. So, this is a function. So, you can write this is a function of t 1, t 2 and higher order terms only taking up to t 1. So, you can write this u 0 equal to a t 1 e to the power I omega 0 t 0 plus a bar t 1 e to the power minus I omega 0 t 0. So, substituting this equation in this equation, so we can write these terms d 0 square u 1 plus omega 0 square u 1 equal to minus 2 d 1. So, as this is a function of t 0. So, we can differentiate these terms d 0 means d n equal to del by del n. So, differentiating with del n by del t n by del t n. So, d 0 will be equal to del by del t 0. So, differentiating these terms with respect to t 0. So, we can write this d 0 square u 1 plus omega 0 square u 1 equal to minus 2 d 1 I omega 0 a t 1 e to the power I omega 0 t 0 minus I omega 0 a bar e to the power minus I omega 0 t 0, and so this is d 0. So, this term is nothing but our d 0 u 0. So, this term becomes minus 2 omega 0 d 0 d 1 u 0. So, for d 1 u 0 we can substitute this term, and then for the third term, that is minus 2 mu d 0 u 0. So, we can write this is the expression, and then for alpha u cube, now expanding this or a plus b whole cube in that formula if you apply, then it will be a cube plus b cube plus 3 a square b into a b square. So, by applying that thing, so we can write or we can expand this term, and then this is the forcing term. So, now expanding these terms and killing the secular term. So, like previous case, we should kill the secular terms, or before that we can write this d 0 square u 1 plus omega 0 square u 1 will be equal to minus 2 I omega 0 a dash is d 1 a. So, d 1 a is written as a dash. So, 2 I omega 0 a dash plus mu a plus 3 alpha a square a bar e to the power I omega 0 t 0 minus alpha a q e to the power 3 I omega 0 t 0 plus half f e to the power I omega 0 t 0 plus sigma t 1 plus its complex conjugate. So, this forcing term, if one see this forcing term which is written in terms of cos. So, this forcing term is written in terms of, so actual forcing term a epsilon f cos omega 0 t 0 plus sigma t 1. So, taking this as theta. So, epsilon f cos theta equal to half e to the power I theta plus e to the power minus I theta by 2. So, cos theta equal to e to the power I theta, because e to the power I theta equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So, by substituting that expression, so we can write this forcing term also in terms of exponential function, that is f e to the power I omega 0 t 0 plus, so it should be f by 2. So, e to the power I omega 0 t 0 plus sigma t plus e to the power. So, this is t 1 sigma t 1 and sigma t 1. So, we can have this expression. So, complex conjugate. So, one can see that this term is the complex conjugate of this one. Similarly, so we have a pair of terms. So, taking only one of the terms and keeping other terms in its complex conjugate, we can write this equation in this form. Now, one can see that the coefficient of e to the power I omega 0 t 0, the terms containing the coefficient of e to the power I omega 0 t 0 should be eliminated, as this term is a secular term, because the presence of these terms will leads to infinite response of the systems, and as the actual response of the system is bounded. So, we should eliminate the coefficient of these terms. So, eliminating the coefficient of this term, that is 2 I omega 0 into a dash plus mu a plus 3 alpha a square a bar minus half f e to the power. So, this term we can put. So, taking common e to the power I omega 0 t 0. So, we can write this. So, this equal to 0. So, eliminate. So, now one can see that this is the secular terms, but this leads to mixed secular term, because this is exactly not. So, when this sigma t 1 tends to 0, that means when the sigma tends to 0, only these terms will tends to omega 0 t 0, and it will be a secular terms. So, if sigma is near to 0, then only these terms will be equal to 0, and it will lead to secular term. That is why it is known as mixed secular term, and this detuning parameter has to be taken in such way that it will be in the neighborhood of this omega 0, that means in the neighborhood of the natural frequency. So, if the forcing frequency is very close to this natural frequency, then only we can take this term to be the secular terms. And now, by adding these two terms, so we should kill these terms, or we should eliminate these terms, so that we can have a bounded solution. So, to eliminate this thing, now taking this A in its polar form, so we can take, so we can have two different conditions. So, taking in its polar form, we can write the solution of the system. Okay, so now, so this is for the free vibration case. One can already we have studied for the free vibration this non-resonant and resonant case when internal resonance were present. So, in case of this force vibration, now taking A equal to half A e to the power I beta. So, we can write that equation A dash equal to minus mu A plus half F by omega 0 sin sigma T 1 minus beta. A beta dash equal to 3 alpha by 8 omega 0 A cube minus half F by omega 0 cos sigma T 1 minus beta. So, now for the steady state solution. So, as these terms are written in terms of time, so we can write them in terms of autonomous systems by putting this parameter equal to gamma. So, taking gamma equal to sigma T 1 minus beta or gamma dash equal to sigma minus beta dash. So, we can write these two equation in this form where it is not explicitly function of time. So, it is written in terms of gamma. So, A dash equal to, so in this case A dash equal to minus mu A plus half F by omega 0 sin gamma, and A gamma dash equal to sigma A sigma minus 3 alpha by 8 omega 0 A cube plus half F by omega 0 cos gamma. So, now for steady state solution, so this will not be a function of time, this A dash and A gamma dash or gamma dash should not be function of time. That means A dash should be equal to 0 and gamma dash should be equal to 0. So, by putting this A dash equal to 0 and gamma dash equal to 0, so we can get the condition for the steady state. So, these equation, these two first order equation which are obtained by applying method of multiple scale on the original second order differential equation, so are known as the reduced equation. So, these are the reduced equation. So, in this reduced equation, to obtain the steady state solution, we have substituted this A dash equal to 0 and gamma dash equal to 0. So, then we got these two conditions. So, either one can solve these two equation by numerically to find the steady state solution or analytically to find the solution. Now, one can eliminate this gamma term. So, eliminating this gamma term, to eliminate this gamma term, so we can write minus mu A equal to minus half F by omega 0 sin gamma and A sigma minus 3 alpha by 8 omega 0 A cube equal to minus half F by omega 0 cos gamma. Now, squaring the right hand side and adding, so we get this expression which is mu square plus sigma minus 3 alpha by 8 omega 0 A square whole square into A square equal to 1 by 4 F square by omega 0 square. Now, to obtain, so this one can observe that this equation, in this equation, so it appear, so A is of the order of 6th, A 6th. So, A to the power 4 and multiplied by the square. So, it is of the order of 6. So, in this equation A is of the order of 6, but sigma is of the order of 2 quadratic. So, one can write a 6th order equation in terms of A. By expanding this equation, one can write this equation in the form of 6th power of A or quadratic equation in terms of sigma. So, it is easier to solve by taking a quadratic equation in terms of sigma. So, by taking a quadratic equation in terms of sigma, one can write this equation and then solve to get the response of the system. So, from this one can find the frequency response of the systems. We will see this frequency response of the systems by plotting this frequency response plot from this diagram. So, now by knowing this A and sigma, so one can find the response of the system, that is u. So, u which is a function of t and parameter epsilon. So, u can be written as u0 plus epsilon u1. We have assumed this thing before. So, taking only up to order of epsilon. So, already we know this a u0 can be written in this form a t1 e to the power I omega 0 t0 plus a bar t1 e to the power minus I omega 0 t0. Then we can write this a t1, we can write this a t1 equal to half a. So, we can write this a t1 equal to half a e to the power I beta into e to the power I omega 0 t0. Then a bar will be equal to half a e to the power minus I beta into e to the power minus I omega 0 t0. So, by adding these two terms we can write this equal to a cos omega 0 t plus beta. As already we have considered this beta in terms of gamma. So, we can write this equation in terms of a cos omega 0 t plus sigma t 1 minus gamma plus order of epsilon. So, this equation finally can be written, or the steady state solution or the solution of the systems can be written in the form a cos omega t minus gamma plus order of epsilon. So, where this a is a function of the frequency. So, one can plot this a versus gamma plot. So, by solving that quadratic equation, so one can find sigma equal to 3 alpha by 8 omega 0 a square plus minus root over f square by 4 omega 0 square a square minus mu square. So, for different value of this alpha, so which is the coefficient of cubic nonlinear term, this f that is the forcing term and this mu that is the damping term. So, one can find the response of the system. So, here some typical curves have been plotted. So, this is alpha equal to minus 2, alpha equal to 1 minus 1, alpha equal to 0. So, these correspond to alpha equal to 1 and these correspond to alpha equal to 2. So, for 5 different curves it has been plotted. So, it can be noted that for alpha equal to 0. So, it correspond to the linear systems, that is the linear spring mass systems, and for alpha equal to this minus terms. So, this which is soft, so which behave as a soft spring, or alpha equal to this positive value which behave as a hard spring. So, we have this different type of response. So, one can study the stability of this system also, stability of these systems, and from this one can, taking a discrete case or taking one case, that is alpha equal to. So, here in this case alpha equal to 3, taking alpha equal to 3, this plot has been, this response has been plotted. So, in this case one can see that by increasing initially, by increasing this frequency, this is detuning parameter and this is amplitude. So, by increasing this detuning parameter, the system response follow this path, and so it will follow this path, and finally it may, or it will goes on increasing. And if one decrease sigma, so let one start from this position. So, if one decrease sigma, it will follow this path, and if one study the stability, it can be shown that up to this the system response or the system response is stable and this branch is unstable. So, as this branch is unstable, so at this point, at this value of sigma, so the system will have a tendency to jump up, that means it will jump up to the upper branch and then it will follow this path to, or it will follow this path. So, when we are sweeping of the frequency, that means we are taking this sigma, we are increasing sigma from this value. So, the system response goes on increasing as the upper branch is stable. So, one can check the stability of the systems by using the methods we have studied before. So, this branch is stable. So, this is a stable branch and this lower branch is, so lower branch from this to this is unstable. So, this is a stable branch and this branch is also stable. So, before this thing, that means before this point the system has only a single response, it has a single response curve, but after this value the system has 3 equilibrium positions corresponding to the upper branch, it has 1 equilibrium position, and corresponding to this lower branch it has 1 equilibrium position, and this is the unstable branch. So, this unstable branch represent the saddle points. So, if one plot the phase portrait, so at a particular value of sigma, so for a particular value of sigma if one find the response, so for different initial conditions either it will be in this state or it will be in this state, because the middle state which is unstable the systems cannot reach to a unstable state. So, either it will be in the lower stable state or it will be in the upper stable state. So, in this case one can observe this jump up phenomena. So, by sweeping down this frequency at this detuning parameter the system suffer the system has jump from this position to this position. Similarly, for different value, so this is for a typical value of alpha equal to 3, mu equal to, so for small value of mu it has been plotted. So, we have a MATLAB code by running which you can find the different type of response for different value of this alpha, then different value of the forcing function f and different value of mu. So, one can see the effect of mu. So, in this case one can observe that for hard spring, so it tilts towards right, and for soft spring it tilts towards left, and for when there is no nonlinearity it is same as that of the linear system. The response is same as that of the linear system. So, one can plot the forcing also. So, one can plot for different value of, okay. So, let us show for a different. So, for doing the stability analysis one can perturb this equation, one can have this A dash and gamma dash equation. Now, taking this A equal to A 0 plus delta A and gamma equal to gamma 0 plus delta gamma, where A 0 and gamma 0 are equilibrium position. So, by perturbing this equation one can write this equation in this form delta A dash delta gamma dash equal to. So, this term can be obtained. So, let us take this equation in this form, that is A dash and gamma dash. So, this is equal to function of A and function of, so this is function of A and gamma. So, this is function of A and gamma. So, this Jacobian matrix can be obtained by del f by del A and del f by del gamma, and this is del g by del A and del g by del gamma. So, this Jacobian matrix can be obtained by this. So, here similarly, so we have this reduced equation, and by substituting this A equal to A 0 plus delta A and gamma equal to gamma 0 plus delta gamma. So, we can obtain this Jacobian matrix. So, this is the Jacobian matrix. Now, for different response what we have plotted. So, at this response or for this one value of A and gamma. So, by substitute this A 0 and gamma 0 in this equation. So, we can find the Jacobian matrix, and by finding the eigenvalues of this Jacobian matrix we can study the stability of the system. So, when the real part of the eigenvalue of this Jacobian matrix is negative, then the system is stable, and when it is positive the system is unstable. So, in this way one can study the stability of the system, and by studying the stability of the systems one can observe that this upper branch is stable and this lower branch is also stable. So, in this multi-stable region, that is after this value, this is multi-stable region. So, here we have two stable zone. So, this is known as bistable zone. So, in this bistable zone, so one can find two stable position and one can have a jump up phenomena at this position, and one can plot this basin of attraction to know to which state the system response will go, or the system to know the system response one may plot the basin of attraction and find for what initial conditions the system's response will be this trivial state, or for what value of this the system response will be the non-trivial state. So, by taking different system parameter, in this way one can find the response of the systems. So, let us continue this module 6 lecture 4. So, in which we are discussing about the system with a nonlinear system with cubic nonlinearity. So, in this case, so we are discussing about the system with Duffing equation. So, which is given by this u double dot plus omega 0 square u plus 2 epsilon mu u 1 dot or u dot plus epsilon alpha u q equal to epsilon f cos omega t. So, when we are discussing about this primary resonance condition, that is omega is nearly equal to omega 0 plus epsilon sigma, where sigma is the detuning parameter. So, already we know for the steady state response we have to, by applying method of multiple scale. So, we obtain this equation which has to be solved to find the frequency response curve. So, in this case the steady state response is given by this equation, where mu is the damping parameter, sigma is the detuning parameter, alpha is the coefficient of cubic nonlinear term, omega 0 is the nonlinear, or this is the frequency term, natural frequency of the system, and A is the amplitude of the system. So, one has to solve this equation which is sixth order in terms of A or quadratic in terms of sigma to obtain the response of the system. So, let us develop a MATLAB code to find the solution of this equation. Also, we can directly solve this equation by using this RK4 method or Runge-Kutta method to solve this equation to find the response of the system. So, here we have to write two first order equation instead of this second order differential equation. So, we have to write two first order differential equation to find the response of the system. So, now with the, let us develop some MATLAB code for finding the response. So, first we will solve this equation. So, for solving this equation, so it is easier to solve this equation from this quadratic equation, or writing this equation in the quadratic form in terms of sigma, that is the detuning parameter, where we can obtain this sigma equal to 3 by 8 then alpha by omega 0 into a square plus minus f square by 4 omega 0 square a square minus mu square. So, already we have discussed about different resonance condition. So, in this resonance condition, how the jump up phenomena or jump down phenomena will occur in the system. So, now let us discuss what will happen, or the effect of damping and effect of this forcing parameter. So, before that, so already we have discussed about the stability analysis of the system. The stability analysis can be carried out by perturbing these equations, and this is the Jacobian matrix. So, by finding the eigenvalue of the Jacobian matrix, so one can find the solution of the system, or otherwise one can find. So, in this Jacobian matrix one can obtain this equation. So, if this is less than 0, the system is stable. So, the system is stable if it is less than 0, and it is unstable if it is greater than 0. So, the effect, so already we have seen, or let us, so this is the MATLAB code written for finding the response and phase portrait. So, in this case first we have to write two first order equation. So, this is the first order equation. So, as our equation is u double dot plus omega 0 square u plus, so let us take so we can take damping also. So, if you take damping, then this is 2 mu u dot. So, this will be equal to, or by adding this alpha u cube. So, this is equal to f cos omega t. Now, writing this in terms of the epsilon. So, we can write this equation, or we can introduce this epsilon here. So, 2 epsilon mu u dot, then epsilon alpha u q equal to epsilon f cos omega t, for which we have studied the principal parametric resonance. So, in this case, so it can be reduced to 2 first order equation by putting this y 1, let us put y 1 equal to u. So, then u dot equal to y 2. So, let us put y 2 equal to u dot. So, we can have 2 equations, 2 first order equation. The first order equation is u dot equal to y 2. So, in this RK4 method, or by using this ODE 45 in MATLAB. So, we can use this ODE 45 function in MATLAB to find the response of the system. So, in that case, the first equation, that is dy 1 equal to y 2. So, this is the equation. So, u dot equal to y 2 can be written in this form, that is dy 1 equal to y 2. The second equation, which is u double dot. So, u double dot equal to dy 2. So, dy 2 represent u double dot. So, that can be written as equal to epsilon f cos omega t minus omega 0 square u, that is for u we can write u y 1, then minus 2 epsilon mu u dot. So, for u dot we can put this is equal to y 2, then minus epsilon alpha y cube u cube. So, this u can be written in terms of y 1. So, this is the expression written for dy 2. So, dy 2 equal to minus y 1 plus, or we can put plus alpha 1 cube, then minus 2 mu y 2. So, this we can put minus also. So, and here also we can, so this dy 2 we can modify, here omega is put to be 1. So, if you put this actual value of omega, so then we can write this is equal to minus omega 0 square y 1 minus alpha into y 1 cube, then minus 2 into, so here epsilon also we can multiply, epsilon to epsilon, let EP for epsilon multiplied by mu into y 2. So, this way by writing these two function. So, this is the function file. So, here the function file name is ff2 is put, ff2 ty. So, the t is the time, y the response we are getting, and this mu and alpha value can be obtained from the other equation, other program, main program. So, this is the main program where we have defined this value of mu and alpha. So, by defining the value of mu and alpha, so we can use this function. So, this is the command for using this ODE 45. So, here it is written t y equal to ODE 45. So, this is the file we are calling function file ff2. So, this is the time interval 0 to 100 time interval. So, this represent time interval, and this is the initial condition. So, initial condition for y 1 and y 2. So, initial condition for y 1 and y 2. So, y 1 is u and y 2 is u dot. So, given this initial condition, so we can find this time and response. So, these are for plotting this thing. So, we will run the MATLAB code to show the response of the system. So, for finding the, so this is the code for finding the response. Now, let us see another code is written for finding the response obtained from or using this method of multiple scale. So, already we have this expression, already we got this expression for finding the response of the system. So, here let me put this parameter as P 1 and this parameter as P 2. So, this is P 1 and this is P 2. So, then sigma will be equal to P 1 plus minus root over P 2 plus minus root over P 1. So, for finding the response, So, one can write so these are the initial conditions. So, alpha, mu, epsilon, k or f. So, here in this case we are using f. So, f and omega 0 has to be defined. So, after defining this value, so let us vary this a. So, we can vary this a from 0 to 1 with an increment of 0.001, or you can take different increment. Then this is the p 1 value, then p 2, and we can define this p 3 for finding this stability. So, p 1 equal to k square by 4 omega square. So, in our code we have written k. So, this is f. So, if p 1 greater than 0, so as our if p 1 is less than 0, then we will have imaginary roots. So, the solution is not feasible. So, we will have only feasible solution when p 1 is greater than 0. So, for finding p 1, or we have to find, or we have to take the value of a for which p 1 greater than 0. So, now taking p 1 greater than 0. So, we can find the sigma 1 by taking this p 2 plus square root of p 1 and sigma 2 by taking p 2 minus square root of 1, and then we can assign this value for plotting the response of the system. To check the stability, again we can use this program. So, here we can find this sigma 1 minus p 2 into sigma 1 minus p 3 plus mu square, that is gamma 1 and gamma 2. So, for corresponding to sigma 1 we can find this gamma. So, this is followed from this equation, from this. So, this is sigma. So, this term is taken as, so this is p 1, this term is taken p 1 and this is p 2. So, p 1 into p 2 plus mu square should be less than 0. So, if we use that expression, then we can, so this will be modified by, this is p 1 and this is p 2. So, p 1 into p 3 plus mu square. So, it should be gamma 1, and here p 2 into. So, in that way you can find by checking this condition. So, we can write the stable and unstable part of the response, and then we can plot. So, already we have seen. So, if you plot the, so this is a versus gamma. So, if we plot a versus gamma, then we have seen a versus sigma, that is our detuning parameter. So, we have already observed that for positive value of gamma, for positive value of alpha, so one can obtain the response to be like this. So, this part is stable and this is unstable, and one can have a jump up phenomena here or jump down phenomena here. So, depending on the initial condition. So, let us see. So, already we have discussed about this curve, and we can, let us see the effect of damping. So, from our equation, reduced equation. So, we know our reduced equation is a dash equal to minus mu a plus half f by omega 0 sin gamma, and then a gamma dash equal to sigma a minus 3 by 8 alpha by omega 0 a q plus half f by omega 0 cos gamma. So, if we are considering mu equal to 0, so if mu equal to 0, that is on damped system. So, from this equation for the steady state, a dash and gamma dash are 0. So, for the steady state one can see this mu a equal to half f by omega 0 sin gamma. So, a is equal to f by mu. So, if mu tends to 0, so this a tends to infinity. So, for undamped system like linear system, so here the amplitude tends to infinity when there is no damping present in the system. So, the steady state response for an undamped system, that is the peak response amplitude, tends to infinity, and when damping is present, then one can get the finite value as already we have seen. So, here again for mu equal to 0, the sin gamma. So, sin gamma equal to 0. So, this is equal to sin n pi. So, in this case, so one can get this gamma equal to n pi. So, for undamped system one can see n equal to 1 to integer number. So, one can see for undamped system. So, the system will be either in phase or out of phase. So, in case of n equal to 1, so this is equal to pi, gamma equal to pi, then the system is out of phase. If n equal to 2, then this is equal to 2 pi or 0. So, then the system will be in phase with the excitation frequency. So, the system will be in phase or out of phase depending on the value of n. So, in case of damping, so in undamped system we have seen the response is infinite, but in case of in the presence of damping, so if one plot the response of the system, so let us take the same numerical value. So, if one plot A versus sigma, one can see the response curve will look like this. So, this is for let mu equal to 0.2. So, by increasing this mu one can get the response curve like this. So, this part is stable. So, the response curve, the peak amplitude will decrease with increase in the damping parameter. So, this is for mu equal to 2 and this will be mu equal to 0.5. Similarly, if we plot, so let us plot the response curve for, so if we plot the response curve, or let us see what will happen if you go on increasing the value of forcing parameter. So, if one plot the force response curve A versus forcing for a different value of, so for a different value of, or A versus sigma for a different value of, let us first plot A versus sigma for a different value of f. So, one can see for higher value of forcing the response will be like this. Go on. So, if we increase or decrease the value of forcing parameter. So, let us decrease the value of forcing parameter. For example, if f equal to 20, so this is the curve one can get, and these correspond to f equal to 10. So, if you go on decreasing the forcing amplitude, the response curve also, the peak amplitude, peak response amplitude also will decrease. So, but if one can plot the force response curve, that is for different value of, so A versus force for a different value of sigma. So, this is for sigma equal to, this is for sigma equal to minus 6. So, let us take this is sigma equal to 4. So, sigma equal to, let this is sigma equal to 0. So, then this is minus 4, sigma equal to minus 6 minus 4, this 0. So, for plus 6 the response curve will be it will look like this. So, it will follow this path, and then, so this is for sigma equal to plus 6, and for sigma equal to plus 4. So, the curve will follow some part like this, and this will be like this, and sigma. So, this is correspond to sigma equal to plus 4. So, for positive value of sigma, so one can see the curve, forcing response curve will look like this. So, in this case one can observe a jump up phenomena, clearly one can observe a jump up phenomena. So, this is forcing parameter and A. So, clearly one can observe the jump up phenomena here and jump down phenomena here. So, while sweeping of the frequency amplitude, so this is forcing amplitude. So, while sweeping of the forcing amplitude or by increasing the forcing amplitude, one can observe a jump up phenomena here and a jump down phenomena at this place. So, let us take some exercise problem in this case, and after that I will show the MATLAB code or run the MATLAB code for finding the response of the system. So, let us take two exercise problem. So, in the first exercise problem, let us take the van der Pol equation. So, in case of the van der Pol equation, force van der Pol equation, the equation can be written in this form, that is u double dot plus omega square u plus epsilon into 1 minus mu u dot square u dot equal to forcing function. So, this forcing function one may take equal to epsilon f cos omega t. So, here similar to this case what we have studied before, here also one can observe many resonance conditions, primary resonance condition, superharmonic and subharmonic resonance condition, and one can find the response of the curve by response of the system by directly solving this equation using RK4 method or Runge-Kutta method, or by using this method of multiple scales, and one can study for different system parameters. So, this is one of the exercise problem to find the response curve. So, by using ODE45 one can check that one can get a limit cycle. So, this is the time response, this is the phase portrait corresponding to that. So, in this exercise problem find the periodic response or find the phase portrait, periodic response and power spectra for the system. So, to know more about this Duffing equation, so one can refer these papers by R. E. Meekens, Mathematical and Numerical Study of Duffing Harmonic Oscillator, which is published in Journal of Sound and Vibration in 2001, or other papers like Analytical Study on a Duffing Harmonic Oscillator, so which is published in 2005. Then solution of a quadratic nonlinear oscillator by the method of harmonic balance, so which is published in Journal of Sound and Vibration in 2006, and another paper by Lim and Son, higher accuracy analytical approximation to the Duffing harmonic oscillator, which is published in the same year 2006 by Journal of Sound and Vibration. Also one may see this reference determination of frequency amplitude relation for a Duffing harmonic oscillator by energy balance methods, which was published in Computers and Mathematics with Applications in 2007. So, there are many other papers also available on this Duffing equation. So, one can study those papers to know more about the applications of Duffing equations, and let us now see run the MATLAB code for finding the response of the system. So, this is the code for finding the force response of Duffing oscillator. So, here the value of alpha is taken to be 100, mu equal to 0.1, epsilon equal to 0.1 and f equal to 1, omega 0 also it is taken to be 1. So, if one run this program, so one can find the response amplitude. So, the response curve is plotted. So, this is the response curve one can see. So, for which this branch is stable and this is also stable branch, and in between one can find one unstable branch. So, by changing the system parameter, so one can plot this amplitude versus frequency curve for a different system parameter. So, one can use this MATLAB code for finding the response of the system for different system parameter. So, let us see, or let us use the other program, that is the RK4, using this RK4 method. So, this is the code written for finding the response using RK4 method. So, by running this code, so let us find the response. So, okay, it is running. So, by running this code, so one can obtain this phase portrait. So, this phase portrait clearly shows that the response is periodic, and this is the time response. So, this is the time response of the periodic time response obtained in this case, and this is the phase portrait obtained in this case. So, next class we are going to study about the Duffing equation with hard excitation term. So, in the present case we have taken the Duffing equation with soft excitation term, that is that forcing term we have taken epsilon f, and next class we are going to study the Duffing equation when this f term cannot be neglected, or when this f term, that is this forcing amplitude, is not small. So, in case of forcing amplitude is high, then we can observe many different resonance conditions like superharmonic, subharmonic resonance condition along with this principal or along with this parametric along with the primary resonance condition. Thank you.